Hey, what's up guys, it's Theo from Fino Concept. So in this video we are going to look at how to change backgrounds in photos, especially for passport pictures. Anyway, let's get started. Welcome to Fino Concept. Click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. Alright, so the software I'm using for this is Adobe Photoshop, but if you have Affinity Photo and I think Corel Draw, you can basically do the exact same thing. I'm pretty sure Canva can also do the exact same thing. So I'll go ahead and open up Photoshop from here, and as you can see I have a picture of my kid brother in here like so. This is what I'm going to use for the tutorial. So there are a bunch of selection tools that you can use. The one I feel comfortable with at any point in time, that is what I'm going to use. So the most common ones are the ones I'm going to talk about in this video. The first on the list is the magic wand, which you can press W to bring up, and you'll find it alongside the tools right around here. So I'll go ahead and select the magic wand. Now the magic wand, what it basically does is it selects everything that is having the exact same color or close to the exact same color. So as you can see in our image here, the background is almost white. It looks like a off-white color, sort of gray a bit. Now because the colors are so close to each other, if you use the magic wand and just click one time, you notice it creates a selection around our subject for us. Unfortunately, it's also noticed that the color of the t-shirt is also close to the color of the background, so it is creating that selection as well, which is not what we want. So we'll go ahead and turn down the tolerance here to about 10. Now if you click one more time, it should create that selection for us. Now with these two, if you know that the color or the background is exactly the same color, then this is the best tool to go with. So let's just assume this entire place is white. If I go ahead and paint it with white, then if I grab the magic wand W on the keyboard and I click on it, you notice it creates the selection right around the white area, just the white area. So basically that is what the magic wand is used for. Like I said, we are just going through the selection process. Afterwards we go through how to change the background. If you don't select, you can't change the background. Now the next on the list is the quick selection tool. Now with this, well, the name already tells us what it does. So with the quick selection tool, it allows you to create a selection around your subject by just clicking and dragging where you want the selection to be. So if you want to select the subject, in my case is the face and the shoulder over here, I just click and drag like so over at the shoulder and over at this shoulder as well. Now as you can see, it creates the selection for us. But unfortunately, if for some reason, if I zoom in here, you notice that the selection is not perfect. So if I go back to the quick selection tool, also W, you can hold down the Alt key, or you can click the minus icon here, and it's going to deselect that particular area you click and drag over. So if I go back to the addition or the selection again, instead of going up all the time, you can just hold down the Alt key. The plus icon on the quick selection tool will change to the minus icon, and you can use that to deselect. If you release, it turns back to the plus icon and you can reselect your subject. So for our case like this, since we are doing it for backgrounds, I'll rather have a selection around the background like so, and I will deselect these particular areas because it is actually part of his body. I don't want a situation where I am changing the color of the background and his shirt is also changing. So this is another way of creating a selection. Now these are the two that I most commonly use, but there's one which is, I believe it tops them all, and that is using the pen tool. The reason I say this is with the pen tool, it allows you to create the selection exactly how you want it. Now let's take a look at it. If you press P on your keyboard, you notice it pops up the pen tool. Now with the pen tool, what you have to do is, apart from zooming in, press P on your keyboard, what you have to do is create the selection around your subject like so. So basically you are clicking and dragging around your subject. These tiny points will create the selection for you. So if you click and drag, you can create a curve if you click and bring it back, it's going to turn the curve in the opposite direction. So basically that is what the pen tool does. But the unfortunate thing with it is you have to do this yourself. Unlike the quick selection tool where you can just click and drag and it's going to create the selection for you, with the pen tool you have to click at these individual edges, create the arcs, create the lines yourself, which is why I think is the best, because it makes the selection quite precise. So as you can see here, I'm just creating the selection on my own. I'm not going to waste your time, so let me fast forward from this point onwards. So once I'm done, I'll just click at the last end and I have a perfect selection around my subject. But these are just points created by the pen tool. So once you are done, just right click and go to make selection and just click on OK. Just leave everything as it is, probably the feather radius 0, and click on OK. And you notice we have a selection around our subject like so. So basically that is what the pen tool also does. Now there's one thing I forgot to mention. You have to always make sure that it is set to path and not shape. If it is set to shape, anytime you draw, it's actually going to create a shape for you, which we do not want. We actually want a selection, not a shape. So yeah, these are the tough ones that I know of. Now if you want to use the easy version, just grab the quick selection tool, the magic wand, or object selection tool by pressing W on your keyboard, of course. Now if you look at the toolbar over here, you will notice that we have select subject and select and mask. Just click on select subject. Photoshop is just going to analyze the image for you and create a selection around your subject. As you can see, it did quite an awesome job. It's not all the time that is going to be perfect. That's why we took a look at doing it yourself with the quick selection tool, the magic wand, or the pen tool. In some cases, if you have a busy background, if it's not blurred enough, you notice that Photoshop is unable to create the selection around the subject. But in this case, we just have a plain background, so it makes it a lot easier. Now, if you want to go ahead and change the background, there are a couple of ways. The one I am comfortable with is, first of all, I'm going to create a copy of this particular selection. So I'll right click with my selection tool still active. Any of them should work just fine. I'll just right click and go to layer via copy, and you notice that we have a duplicate over here. Now with the background selected, I'll just go into the adjustment panel and I'll click on solid color. Now with solid color, I can basically change the color to anything I want. So I can have red, purple, blue, turquoise, green, anything you want. Click on OK and you have a different background like so. If you don't want to use this method, once you have this, you can go ahead and create a new layer and grab a brush tool if you want. Select your specific color from the color palette from here and just brush over. But I believe that is sort of a long process, so just create a fill color and have it filling in your background. So that's about it. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to watch more of our videos, hit that subscribe button, and as always, don't forget to share with your family and friends. This is Theo from Final Concepts, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.